This tutorial will explore the fishbowl strategy and the procedure for implementing this active learning strategy into your classroom. Fishbowl is a strategy for organizing medium to large group discussions. This activity helps engage students with learning materials through group discussion. It focuses on observation, participation, reflection, and problem solving skills. Fishbowl discussions require pre-class preparation, and students will need explicit instructions to understand the requirements of the activity. In the fishbowl strategy, students are separated into an inner and outer circle. In the inner circle, or fishbowl, students have a discussion about the topic or reading at hand. Students in the outer circle listen to the discussion and take notes. This engaging and student-centered strategy builds comprehension of complex texts and ideas while developing group discussion skills. In the fishbowl, students practice responding to multiple viewpoints. Benefits of the fishbowl strategy include providing meaningful discussion. Fishbowl is useful where there is a need to focus and deepen the conversation rather than dividing into separate groups, where the educator wants to give particular students a reason to speak and others to practice active listening, or where students tend to sit and interact in affinity groups and the educator wants to broaden their experience. A second benefit of the fishbowl strategy is increased participation. As well as requiring students to retrieve and apply their knowledge, it gives them an opportunity to articulate a point of view and deepen their understanding of it in relation to other perspectives. It is an occasion to practice and observe conversational approaches they need to master, such as backing up assertions with evidence, asking follow-up questions, paraphrasing, or elaborating on another student's point. A third benefit of the fishbowl strategy is critical thinking. The fishbowl strategy requires students to think critically and analyze the topic at hand. All students have the opportunity to share their understanding of the subject. This will help others to understand the essence of the topic better, maybe even see something they've missed or misunderstood, and essentially they learn how to think about and analyze new concepts. A fourth benefit of the fishbowl strategy is an inclusive learning environment. By providing all students both a speaking and listening role and a stake in the discussion, Fishbowl can help build an inclusive and supportive learning environment. The observation aspect of the activity allows students to identify appropriate ways to participate in discussions. You can implement the fishbowl strategy into your classroom in a few steps. First is to select a topic. Almost any topic is suitable for a fishbowl discussion. The most effective prompts, questions, or texts do not have one right answer or interpretation, but rather allow for multiple perspectives and opinions. Give a thought-provoking problem or question for all students to consider and work through privately. This could be an article to read, a math model to build, a story problem to solve, a piece of artwork to consider, and so on. Step 2 is to set up the room. A fishbowl discussion requires a circle of chairs or the fishbowl and enough room around the circle for the remaining students to observe what is happening in the fishbowl. Only the students in the fishbowl are allowed to talk. After a class demonstration with one fishbowl, there can be several fishbowls organized in the classroom to ensure that all students are engaged. Step 3 is to prepare for the discussion. Like many structured conversations, fishbowl discussions are most effective when students have had a few minutes to prepare ideas and questions in advance. Step 4, discuss the norms and rules. There are many ways to structure a fishbowl discussion. Sometimes teachers have half of the class sit in the fishbowl for 10 to 15 minutes before announcing switch, at which point the listeners enter the fishbowl and the speakers become the audience. Another common fishbowl discussion format is the tap system, where students on the outside of the fishbowl gently tap a student on the inside, indicating that they should switch roles. Regardless of the particular rules you establish, Make sure they are explained to students beforehand. You also want to provide instructions for the students in the audience. What should they be listening for? Should they be taking notes? Before beginning the fishbowl activity, you may wish to review guidelines for having a respectful conversation. Sometimes teachers ask audience members to pay attention to how norms are followed by recording specific aspects of the discussion process, such as the number of interruptions, examples of respectful or disrespectful language being used in, or speaking times. The fifth and final step of the fishbowl strategy is to debrief. After the discussion, you can ask students to reflect on how they think the discussion went and what they learned from it. Students can also evaluate their performance as listeners and as participants. They could also provide suggestions for how to improve the quality of the discussion in the future. These reflections can be in writing, or they can be structured as a small or large group conversation. Utilizing the fishbowl strategy is an active learning strategy that you can incorporate into your lessons to promote engaging conversations among students. The fishbowl strategy builds comprehension while developing group discussion skills, as well as it allows learners to take notes and become reflective learners.